Hi, welcome to Robert's podcast. I have my guest, Jason Ventura, appearing with me.
Hey.
And today we're going to talk about a couple topics relating to guitar. And the first topic is shredding now versus then. What
Mm.
what would you say would be the biggest differences you've seen in shredding previous to 2010 era? I like 1980 shredding versus 2015, 2010, that kind of era.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Hey man, good question, dude. Wow. I think I think as time has went on, it's become to where it's much more musical nowadays, you know. It sounds much more musical and expressive, even though they're still doing what we would consider or call shredding, like playing lightning fast, tapping, and all these kind of like fretboard acrobatics and stuff that you got to sit in your room and practice 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, like you said, I feel it was a little more robotic as far as like the mainstream goes, as far as like what the media was really putting out and what people were really hearing and getting their hands on, like Metallica or whatever you want to consider shredding. It was much more robotic and not as
Yeah.
musical, more aggressive. If
It's
you if
just
you see what I'm saying.
basically arpeggio runs, legato scales, pretty much people just
Yeah,
doing stuff that were taught to them by their guitar masters, and they weren't focusing on, oh, well, here's a lick in this scale, but it's not exactly that scale, you know?
right, right. I feel you.
And I mean, with nowadays, shredding has become more, I think, more open-minded because I remember 5 years ago, tapping used to be considered very uncool and very, what was it? The term for it? Easy, I guess. Like, oh, only
Right.
like beginners do that. But now I'm seeing like a whole bunch of people like not only shredding, but they also add like tapping to their shredding as well as sweep picking and all of that stuff. It's not just one type of solo. It's like they combine a whole bunch of elements of different things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally, totally.
I mean, shredding has definitely evolved
Mm-hmm.
nowadays.
For sure. For
Okay,
sure.
so who would you consider to be one of the best shredders to come out now?
Like nowadays,
Like now, like
uh,
very recently.
it's embarrassing. I say I love this band, but I don't even know the guys' names in the band. But there's this
Hmm.
band called Chan that I love them to death, dude. And I guess I
Okay.
can't really say that because I don't know their names, but I love their music anyway.
Well, yeah,
And
yeah.
whoever those guys are, man, they're killing it. I recommend highly that you look them up if you haven't heard of them, dude.
Well, what's
It's
the name of them?
Chan, and I believe I want to say that it stands for like the elements of life, like carbon, hydrogen,
Okay.
oxygen, or nitrogen, but I'm
Yeah.
not
Could
really sure.
could you spell it real quick?
Chon, Chan.
Just Sean. All right. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, their new EP, man, Newborn Sun. Oh my goodness, dude, incredible what they do. They make it sound so musical and so expressive, and it intimidates me. Like, wow, I have a lot of practicing to do.
Oh, I definitely need to check them out.
Yeah,
All
they're my
right.
definitely my fave right now, man.
Well, let's take a break from talking about bands and go straight into guitar. All right.
Cool, cool.
Scallop frets versus non-scallop frets.
Ah, I've never played a guitar with scalloped frets,
Um.
so I can't speak from experience, but I do know what purpose it serves.
All right. Would you care to explain that?
The reason you would want scalloped frets ideally would be so that you can dig into the string a little more. Like if you finger a note on the guitar and you press the string hard enough, it's going to start going sharp as you press it harder and harder, like against the fretboard. And a scalloped fretboard takes out some of that material, leaving you even more space to like really dig in there. And as Yngwie Malmsteen said, really grab the note by the balls.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
also heard that scallop frets it also takes away the friction of your finger hitting the fretboard as well.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually heard it's harder to play on scalloped frets because it's really easy to press too hard and like your chords can sound out of tune and stuff. You really got to know what you're doing if you're going to get into that. And
Yeah.
maybe one day I'll try, but I haven't got my hands on one yet.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting like something that was like lightly scalloped. That way I can actually do
Yeah, yeah.
some sort of kind of runnings. I don't know. I'd still have to test it out myself. And you know me,
Right.
I'm mostly a rhythm guitar player, so doing solos not really my thing. So I might not be really good at it, no matter what I do. Um, okay. So another question about guitars. Well, actually, not a question. Extended range guitars versus traditional guitars.
You mean, do you mean like longer scale length or like more strings, like 7 and 8 strings?
I guess for the first part of this question, we'll go for more strings.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
am dying to get my hands on one, man. As soon as I can pick up a 7 or 8 string for myself, I'm gonna go for it because a lot of my
yeah.
favorite guitarists, that's what they're doing, and it just opens up a whole other color palette, a darker tonality, and it
Yeah.
really opens up chords and they sing, man. And I think it just sounds so beautiful, and I really think that's the direction the modern day guitarist is heading. More
Yeah.
strings.
It's kind of funny because about 5 to 3 years ago, I used to have a seven string because I was really into corn at that time. I was just like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, I was really into the drop D tuning and I was thinking, oh, well, I want a guitar that can combine drop D with regular standard tuning, and seven string seemed to be the most logical choice. And
hmm
you're right, it does sound a lot darker, a lot heavier, but at the time, not. This was way before Animals as Leaders. I think Animals as Leaders was only out like two years ago. I know for a fact that I was trying to get like a seven string band going, but nobody else had a seven string down in Fayetteville, and I was just
Yeah.
like, what am I doing with this thing? I needed to, I'm just gonna fucking sell it because I have no use for it because everybody's playing six string, and I try to join other bands, and they're like, you, your guitar has too many strings on it, and it's just like, am I intimidating you? I'm not exactly Steve Vai.
Right. I feel you on that, man. Same here, man. The six string is just the go-to, man, and it's a classic. You can't go wrong with the six string, man.
You
Can't
can't.
go
There's
wrong.
nothing wrong with the six string, but
Absolutely nothing wrong with one.
seven, eight strings, they, like you said, they open up a new palette. And I actually found out while I was playing seven strings that apparently seven string guitars are perfect for making chords. Apparently, like
hmm
perfect chords, because
Yeah.
it, it's just like something about the six string where it's just like you can only make like half perfect chords, all that stuff. I haven't been looking it up because I don't have a seven string anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm stuck with the six string until I finally get another seven string again. Regret selling that baby.
Mm. I have a few guitars I regret selling too, man.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
All right. So, what do you think of guitars that have 24 frets instead of the normal 22 frets?
Um, I like them. Me personally, I don't ever really even get up there that high on the fretboard. I
Mm-hmm.
just, I just don't. And it's not because it's like uncool or unfashionable. It's just, let's be honest. I can't afford the nicest guitars. I'm
Yeah.
not rich. I'm not rich. And with cheaper guitars, I find that the higher up the scale length you go, sometimes the notes kind of tend to choke out a little bit, and they don't sustain as long as I'd
Oh
like.
yeah.
They don't sound as strong as I'd like. So it just kind of keeps me from getting up there. If I had a nicer guitar with like nice pickups that really respond to my touch, and I'd probably be more likely to get up there. But as it stands now, with the guitars I'm able to afford, I really could care less how many frets it has on it. Right now, the only
Yeah.
guitar I have is a Fender Strat with 21 frets. That's even less than the standard 22. But I don't really
Oh
care
yeah.
because I don't ever get up there, so it's whatever.
Yeah. I with my guitar, trying to get up there, I notice that I do lose sustain, so I end up whenever I'm trying to solo, I end up using the lower end strings just higher up because there's more sustain there instead of
Right.
going higher up
Absolutely.
there. And I'm just like, I want it to be, you know, Eric
Yeah, there's
Clapton, like making it squeal and doing all the blues
yeah,
solos and all
yeah,
that stuff. But I just can't with my
absolutely.
guitar because I lose the sustain as I go higher up. I mean, it's a good guitar and it's great for rhythm. I just
Yeah.
it's an Epiphone, so
The
what
struggle
can
is
I say?
real, man. The struggle is
Yeah.
real.
Thank you for watching part one of my real talk with Jason Ventura. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Hey, why don't you check out my review of Weirdo? They're a really good rap group straight out of Fayetteville. Also, you can check out my review of Decibel 9. They're also from the Hope Mills area, which is pretty close to Fayetteville as well. And they're a metal band, so if you like metal, go check them out. And tell them Rob sent you. That's all for now. Stay heavy.